Welcome to the online version of the Veterans Expressive Writing Workshop. I'm Cindy Skaggs, your facilitator for this webinar in conjunction with the Colorado Humanities. What you need to know about me is that I am not a counselor. I'm here because I'm prior military. I'm a writer and a teacher and a strong advocate for the military and veteran issues. My goal for today is for each of you to find your writing voice and learn a process that can help you long-term to deal with emotional stressors and trauma. Thank you for being here. I know that our current stay-at-home orders are adding extra stress to everyone's lives. My hope is that our time here can help deal with some of these stressors. Expressive writing is writing about emotions and stressors without writing conventions, which just means no rules, no grammar, no grading, no fear. The goal is to express what is in your mind and heart to help in the healing process. The plan today is to give you some background information and then we'll start writing. I'll take you through a series of expressive writing prompts from Josephine Jones' book, Sane in Pain, from Dr. James Panabaker's Writing to Heal, in addition to some of my prompts honed through years of teaching and writing. When I first started teaching college writing, I taught night school where 12 of my 13 first students were prior military. Over the next few semesters, a few common denominators were apparent. Most of my students were military or prior military, and most of them had issues stemming from their time in service. In the first class, I had a former helicopter crew chief who couldn't sit through the 4.5-hour class, but rather had to stand in the back of the room because he'd had too many hard landings and had permanently damaged his spine. I had a first sergeant who had long and exemplary career but couldn't get past 30 seconds of life in the desert. Another used cannabis to get through the class, and that continues to be a theme. 2 students had served on the USS Ronald Reagan when it went in support of efforts after Fukushima. Both had non-specific and debilitating medical issues. I've seen TBIs, service dogs, hearing loss, insomnia, PTSD, and I've had student writers who had no traumatic experiences and are frustrated that potential employers assume one picture of a military veteran. There is no one-size-fits-all, but the common link for most of us is the military. Like most of you, I was young when I joined the military and believed that nothing bad would or could happen to me. Within a year of joining, the girl who grew up on the south side of town had visited many of the U.S. states and more countries than I can remember. And over the course of my time in service, and then my time as a military spouse, I learned that I wasn't as untouchable as I wanted to believe. I separated from the military community for several years. I had forgotten the value of the military family, the thing many vets say they miss most once they separate. The Expressive Writing Workshop is designed to reconnect each of you to your internal self and to your military family. The first year of teaching night school, I discovered a world of experiences that veterans wanted or needed to write about, and every semester I get prior military students who tell me more in writing than they mean to share. Sometimes it's because they want someone to hear them. Mostly, writing is healing, and we spill more on the page than we do in real life. This program is a bit different than my classroom. I want to assure you first and foremost that you don't have to share, and since this is a video, that's hopefully apparent. But this is for you. No one has to or even should read what you're writing. If you're concerned that your writing won't be private wherever you are, you can shred it, throw it, burn it, or put it into a safe place of your choosing. But make sure that your conscious and subconscious minds know no one is going to read this and judge you. Because writing is cathartic. Over the course of the next few slides, we'll discuss why and how, but mostly we'll focus on doing. In this case, that means writing. To get started, I want to thank you for being here and for committing to the process. We want to be as beneficial and safe for you as possible. I have some guidelines for the process, but to start, I want you to write for 5 minutes on your goals for the workshop today. You can write by hand or on your computer. There's some research that suggests there's a benefit to writing with pen or pencil and paper, And in the past few months, I've learned the reconnection between our hands and our hearts. Writing by hand does work, but use the method most beneficial to you. So again, write for 5 minutes on your goals for this workshop. When we do this in a workshop environment, we have the room quiet, but since this is a video, I'm going to suggest pausing the video for 5 minutes and play quiet music. Begin. Welcome back. How many of you know what a cleanse is? How many have experienced the brain fog, aches and pains, and/or headaches? Expressive writing works much like a physical cleanse. The benefits for a cleanse are many, but the first day or two are a struggle. The brain fog or general aches and headaches are part of the healing process. As your body gets rid of the toxins, you feel like you have a flu until the toxins clear your system. The same thing happens with your emotions. Writing about them is like a cleanse, and there's some residue immediately after. It's normal to feel sad or emotionally uneven, whatever that looks like for you. And if you do get emotional, just know no one here is judging you. You feel what you feel. This emotional cleanse can lead to sadness in the short term, so plan to give yourself some time after we're done to process the emotions. In the long term, people who engage in expressive writing report feeling happier and less negative than before writing. Some benefits researchers see with expressive writing are an improved mood and fewer depressive symptoms, improved social life, and alleviated anger. Writing and talking about trauma can be equally beneficial, but only if you're sure that the person you're talking to accepts you no matter what you say. As a writer, I intuitively went to writing to deal with any negative events in my life. But it wasn't until I was in the master's program at Regis that I discovered creative nonfiction, which is true stories told using the same techniques as writing about fiction. I realized there was an entire writing world that focused specifically on writing about life events. I won't say that this discovery saved my life, but it did change my life. It made it possible for me to be who I am today. Unfortunately, part of the master's program required that we publicly present and answer questions about our work. And that was the first time that I had shared work outside of my instructors, who were, for the most part, supportive and positive people who responded with compassion. As life would have it, one of the people sitting in the audience the day I presented thought she was clever and asked if I read through my essays and hated who I had been. What I felt is the reason I say your writing should remain private. I can't tell you much about who was there or what was said that day, but I remember this woman because of the judgment. I learned that not all work can or should be shared. Writing about the events that haunt us have the benefit of being silent and judgment-free. You are the only audience. Here are some guidelines for what we're working with today. First, acknowledge your emotions openly. By this I mean you should label both positive and negative emotions. Don't judge yourself and don't try to sugarcoat it. 2, construct a coherent story. When we first recall difficult memories, we often remember in a nonlinear fashion. Snapshots of moments rather than a video that records events as they happen. And according to research, the best way to put things back together is to tell a meaningful story about what happened and how it's affecting you. Story can help us remember what we need to remember and let go of that which no longer serves us. 3, switch perspectives. We typically see these difficult memories through our own lens, and it's beneficial to write about how others may see or experience the event. Sometimes writing in the second person you helps build the emotional distance we need to write about past events. 4, find your voice. Be you without filters. Be open and honest. You're the only audience, and lying to yourself doesn't serve you. Hopefully, all of this makes sense so far, but there are typically concerns from those who are in expressive writing workshops. We worry that we'll lose control, completely freak out. Mostly that has not happened. However, some people do cry or become sad. If a freak out does happen, we have this thing called the Flipout Rule. If you feel that your writing about a particular topic is too much for you to handle, then don't write about it. If you know that you aren't ready to address a particularly painful topic, write about something else. Tackle it when you're ready. If you feel that you flip out by writing, don't write. While we're online, if you need to leave the process, or you need some time to yourself, or if the writing brings up difficult topics, here are some phone numbers since we can't be there to help with interventions. The National Suicide Prevention Hotline is 1-800-273-8255. We also work when we have a physical location with Mount Carmel Veteran Service Center in Colorado Springs. They have a phone number 719-772-7000. They have behavioral health and other support systems in place for military veterans. This workshop is designed to help you, but it's also designed to teach you a process for dealing with difficult events or emotions. Dr. Panabaker's research has shown benefits of writing about a chosen topic for 4 consecutive days, but there is other research that suggests once a week for 4 weeks can also be beneficial. My plan is to run through a series of 4 writing prompts for the next 4 weeks and then repeat that process. What we're going through with this particular video is the introduction, but not Panabaker's prompts. You do not have to participate in each and every one. You can pick up on the same topic where you left off, or you can choose to work on the final 3 of the 4 days independently. So here's a question I get frequently, which is, what do I write about? Pick a topic, any topic. If there's an emotional upheaval bothering you, write about that. But make sure to trust where the writing takes you. Go where the writing wants to go, which may mean changing topics. Don't fight it unless it switches to something mundane like writing a grocery list. That's avoidance. So you would force your writing back on topic. Let sleeping dogs lie. If a particular event or emotional response doesn't appear to be impacting you or relevant to your life right now, let it go. Deal only with traumas you're aware of. Write about upheavals that are stored in your conscience. As my mother would say, don't go looking for trouble. There are many different techniques we use to get in the zone for writing. Today we're going to use something called Wholesome Moment. It's from Josephine Jones' Sane in Pain. What I want you to do is look for one positive aspect of your situation right now. The human brain is wired to take in as many sensory details as possible when we're emotionally stressed because the body is looking for the danger. So the benefit of this prompt is to slow down the overstimulated response. Your job in this first 5 minutes is to focus on one physical detail in your current setting. Doing this will distract your mind from the painful input that is getting all of the attention. Keep it simple. The book Sane in Pain calls these wholesome moments. Find a flower, the light coming in a window, a view, sound, or sensation, and focus on it as intently as you can. Write down all the details for 5 minutes. Go ahead and pause the video and focus on one thing. Welcome back. So now I'm going to lead you through a series of prompts. They're from the book Sane in Pain, written by Josephine Jones, who has dealt with chronic pain for 29 years. What I'm going to do is read to you the full prompt, and then I'll pause for you to pause the video, and then come back when you're finished or 5 minutes. Step 1, or prompt number 2, since we've already done the wholesome moment. Write a list of the main sources of your stress. Prioritize them. Which are the most stressful and important? Which are the least? Take 5 minutes to create your list. Pause the video now. Welcome back. Now that you've written your list, I want you to review it. We'll work with some of the other stressors in the longer prompt later, but for now, pick one. If this is your first time going through the series, choose a topic that is a low-level stressor. Write or label a sentence that describes a larger and more persistent stressor, if you have been with us before, that you will use for the next series of prompts. So again, what I'm asking you to do is, if you're new to this, choose a low-level stressor, label it or name it. And if this is something you've been through before and you've watched the video previously, pick a more persistent stressor and label it. Once you've chosen and labeled your topic, go to the next slide. Once you've selected your topic, write freely about what you think, feel, and believe about this that creates stress for you. Think, feel, and believe. Such as, I think this is unfair, I feel attacked, I believe that this will negatively impact my life. Write for 5 minutes non-stop on what you think, feel, and believe about this stressor, and then restart the video. Welcome back. We tend to see our emotions through a one-dimensional lens, but life is rarely that simple. So I want you to re-examine the situation that you've just described. Don't get ahead to the fix-it stage. Stay focused on the same emotion or event. This time, I want you to write a more balanced reaction to the situation. Write for 5 minutes and then restart the tape. Now that you've written your thoughts and beliefs, now that you've taken a more balanced approach, it's time to get to the problem-solving stage. Devise a new plan of action that employs these balanced reactions, so the next time you encounter this stressor, you have a plan. Pause until you've finished writing your action plan. You have a minute left. I want you to look at your action plan and set aside some time right now to write some specific details or micro actions of your new plan that are measurable in some way, so that you can verify that this plan is working for you. Pause the tape and replay or hit play once you've come up with specific measurable actions for your plan. Very good. You've gone from writing about your emotions to creating an action plan. Now I want you to reflect on the previous prompts. If this is your first time through, note any insights that occur to you after this series of prompts. If you've gone through this series before, look at a previous action plan and evaluate how this plan worked or didn't work. Note any insights. If this is your first or second time going through, I want to remind you to date your action plans and to flag them in some way so that makes going back easier. So again, if this is your first time through, note any insights that occur to you after the series of prompts. If you've been here before, look at a previous action plan and evaluate how this plan worked or didn't work. Note any insights, then return to the video for our conclusion. This is the end of our first hour of writing prompts. I've included these additional emergency numbers here so that you have access to them. And then I'm giving you my contact information. If you found the video helpful, please contact Cindy at cskaggs.com or Jones at coloradohumanities.org for an evaluation form you can fill out as we continuously evaluate and update our course effectiveness. For more information on reserving a spot at the next webinar, contact Cindy Skaggs, Cindy at cskaggs.com. Finally, I want to leave you with this thought. You have dealt with a stressor, and anytime we delve into our emotions, we're impacting our current mood. So what I'd encourage you to do is take the next 30 to 45 minutes away from people and away from media. So no TV, no phones, no internet. And just process what you've gone through to this point. In our regular workshop, we continue with 2 additional longer prompts, and we'd love to have you join us. Again, contact Cindy at cskaggs.com for more information. Thank you.